Hello, Speed Gaming. We're here today for another race in the Metroid Prime Randomizer tournament. I apologize for the delay. We've been sorting out some issues on Speed Gaming. Currently, SG6 was just having a lot of difficulties. It actually wasn't running when it really should have been. We had to spend a few minutes getting that all set up. But we do have a very good race for you today. It's just going to be a little bit longer until we're ready to go. We have a wonderful Speed Gaming volunteer working in the background to make everything work. In the meantime, I'll just introduce you to our runners. Today we have Torvisbog and Bruh Inc. It appears that they have not agreed to any special settings changes for this race. We're just going to be using the default preset for this week, which is the fighting chance, which means that we're going to be starting in any boss room in the game. We can only start in a boss room. So that can be, Incinerator Drone, Hive Mecha, it could be Elite Pirates, or even Omega Pirate. We could start at Thardus. We could even start at Parasite Queen. There's a few odd ones mixed in there. Elite Research is considered a boss room because you have Philip at the bottom, the Phazon Elite. And also Research Lab. Well, I was going to say Research Lab Hydra, but the room directly before Research Lab Hydra with the pirate fight at the entrance to Pirate Labs. That's another valid starting room. We'll see in just a little bit what our start is going to be. I do apologize. Bruh Inc. is having some pretty bad difficulties on his side with the stream, so his quality is not going to be great, and we also aren't going to be able to use audio from Bruh Inc. One important thing to remember is that we will be having starting items in this race. Both runners are guaranteed to start with Charge Beam, and we'll also be given a number of other items just to make their starting locations possible, since obviously if we could only start in locations where we could get out with just Charge Beam, we would basically only be able to start in Parasite Queen or Hive Mecha. So this is actually a pretty important part of the race settings. This allows us to start with a lot of starting items. I can't remember if there was a maximum, but I've seen as many as 6 being given to runners just immediately at the start of the race. We're going to take another minute just for Bruh to mess around a bit with his settings, see if he can't get anything figured out. Again, I do apologize for the delay. This is just some difficulty on Speed Gaming's end for the most part. Bra Inc. has unreadied, just wants to do a little bit more. Oh, are we getting a better frame rate here? Alright, now that's our frame rate issues fixed. We should be getting a stable frame rate from both of our runners today. Very good news. We'll be starting in just a moment. Now, after that wait, we are going to be finally getting started. We do have a flogger start. Boost Ball, Morph Ball, and Power Bomb. This is not the worst start, but it's definitely my least favorite. It takes a long time to fight Flagra. It's just a very slow boss fight. And we're doing it with power bombs as well, which means that once we come out of this, we're not going to have any left. We at least get a boost ball for free, more or less. We don't need the boost ball to defeat Flogger or to get out of this room, so that is a bit of a freebie there. I am curious what that's pointing to. That could be pointing to one of the half pipes in early Chozo. There are two of them. There's one in Rune Shrine and one in Main Plaza that I'd really be worrying about. There are some other ones, of course, like in Crossway and Training Chamber. There are also some pretty significant half pipes. And technically Antechamber as well. Or, not Antechamber, but Reflecting Pool, rather. There are a lot of half pipes, but really it's Rune Shrine and Main Plaza that I would be considering the most. It could also be pointing to Talon Canyon to get to Alco, but we don't need to take that route. Flogger goes ahead and flips Torvisbog's mirror. It's not quite what we want to see happen. Bra Inc. we see here speeding things up a bit with scan dashes. This lets you hit all the mirrors much faster. The fastest way to deal with this fight is to use scan dash to actually kind of skip the mirrors altogether. You can dash onto the little ledge around Flogger's platform, land on that, and actually damage the damage trigger from outside the morph tunnel. Because with the way it's set up, it's not actually a real bomb slot, but rather just essentially a trigger looking for that bomb's damage type, which can be abused a bit. We can actually hit that from outside the morph tunnel. Neither of our runners chose to do that, and honestly, I understand that decision when we start with power bombs, because if you miss even one of those bombs, then you're soft locked and you have to restart. And that's nothing on Flagra. Ooh. Bruh Inc. Not going to be happy about that. I can't imagine that's going to be eliciting a very positive reaction. And we do not have bombs, it's worth noting, so early wild is just not possible. I guess there might be some kind of weird wall boost, but it probably wouldn't be human viable if it exists at all. And of course, no spider either, so this is just going to be a drop down that we're not feeling bad about at all. Bruh Inc. misses the piston cycle. And also is forgetting that they, or regretting rather, that they don't have bombs. And that's an ice beam in vault, which we cannot get because we don't have any more power bombs. I'm pretty sure you can get vault with just power bombs, but it's not fun. When I was actually filling out the database myself, I did not manage to find a way to do it. I know that it's possible, though, because somebody else mentioned it to me. Bruh Inc. actually pauses there for a second on the map screen, which causes the Metroid to make pretty colors. The Nothing Metroid actually has graphics that are dependent on the current state of RAM, which is a bit funny. So opening the map will actually cause it to change colors. I definitely like the color that Bruh Inc. got after he opened the map. That's going to be a missile expansion in Ruined Nursery. We can't quite get that yet. But that's going to be... we're going to be filing that one away for later, potentially. Hopefully we get missile expansion here in Hive Mecha. Hive Totem. Torvisbog taking a safety save, which I completely agree with. Flagra is a long fight. You do not want to do it twice. Bruh Inc. acquires the grapple beam, which is probably pointing also towards main plus, although there are a number of other points we could be expected to go with that. I forget Crash Site is one of them, potentially. And that ice beam plus the grapple beam definitely isn't inspiring a lot of confidence in what Frigate may potentially hold. We don't have to think about it quite yet. We would need, obviously, the wave beam and the thermal visor to put that into logic, not to mention the gravity suit. So that's not quite our main concern yet. But 2 items already is worrying. Torvisbog activates the fight. I didn't see if that was unintentional or not, but we are going to be here for a while. What you saw from Bruh Inc. was a skip that we can do, actually not too difficult at all. And then a Morph Ball Bomb in Main Plaza. Very nice. But if you dash across, sort of to skip the bridge, you actually go around the trigger that starts this fight and you get the item directly. Torvisbog either did not manage to do that or did not attempt to do that. I'm not quite sure. Bruh Inc. after grabbing the bombs is going to be heading into Talon. We don't have missiles to check Ruined Shrine or actually a lot else in Chozo, so I agree with this play. We're probably going to find missiles in Alcove or Landing Site, so this is definitely a good idea. Though we could get energy instead. Torvisbog has a pretty fast fight. This isn't going to be the biggest issue. Well, no, I actually agree with that decision, Delta Toast, because we have to come back to Chozo anyways to get Ruined Shrine and to do a lot of middle Chozo as well. So, gallery is going to still be there. Going back to check gallery later is not going to cost any more time than going back to check gallery immediately. And besides, we need the missiles to check the gallery wall. We would be isolating the wall if we went back to check gallery tunnel. So it's just altogether a really bad choice if we were to just immediately beeline gallery after bombs. Because then we would just be still leaving a check behind. Burning opting to go get the artifact temple. This is going to both provide us one free item and our 6 artifact hints for the game. For those who are not super familiar, in order to complete the game, we need to collect. Normally, in usual, like an 80% run, we would need to collect 12 artifacts. But for Randomizer, we only collect 6. You can choose to play with 12 artifacts, or with 9, or with 2, or with whatever else, but 6 is kind of agreed upon as the sweet spot, where we do have to go across a fair bit of the game, but aren't just 100%ing every seed. Torvisbog making the same decision. Not that there really is much of a choice. We do need them missiles. Oh, did Brut Inc. check artifacts immediately? I didn't realize. I apologize. I was missing that because I had to head over to the tracker and mark down those items that Torvis got. It's an energy tank in a freaking crash site. Brut Inc. is going to be taking a ship save. Torvisbog choosing to get this item using the grapple strategy, which is a little bit more beginner-friendly than the scan dash. Brut Inc. opted to skip it entirely and just go without. One energy tank is plenty to feel safe in Chozo Ruins, but definitely not free. It appears our artifacts are in Life Grove Tunnel, Watery Hall, Lava Lake, Transport Tunnel B, and Root Cave. Those are incredibly free. Life Grove and Tunnel are going to be our most difficult artifacts, and there's our Wave Beam, so that's already 2 beams accounted for. Our Ice Beam is in Vault, and our Waved Beam is the pedestal item in Ruined Shrine. So now we have a few items that we need to look for. The Phazon suit and the Plasma Beam are both hard required. We're also going to be looking for the Various suit to get to the artifact in Lava Lake. And we're going to need some method to get to Life Grove. One way to do that would be to go through the frigate and use the boost ball to hit the bars and head up to the upper part of Great Tree Hall. Another option is to just take the elevator next to Reflecting Pool. I believe there's an elevator there that will take you to Great Tree Hall as well. Now, I believe that Life Grove is also on the upper part of Great Tree Hall, so we don't have to do bar skip. It's just to get Life Grove. And in terms of Lava Lake, that is essentially one of the first items in Magmore. It's entirely possible to get enough E to... oh, there's the Various Suit. Forget everything. It's right there in the Gallery Tunnel. Bruh Inc. is not going to be thinking about energy anymore. Now, in addition to a 10% damage reduction across the board, that is going to give us complete immunity to heat damage, so Magmore Caverns is completely free for the taking. Lava Lake is no longer a remote difficulty. We have everything we need to go get that now if we will really wanted to. Bruh Inc. choosing to go and get transport access north. We were not able to access this item earlier. Now, of course, the fight trigger is still active because we never did the Hive Totem fight, so we're going to be dodging that a second time. It's just a missile and transport access north, but we'll take it. It's faster to go out the back anyways, so there's no reason to skip it. It's not relevant. Torvisbog is going to be immediately getting this artifact in TTB. First to 6. Now, getting this artifact early actually isn't useful or even that big of a deal. It's important to note that because it's so close to Artifact Temple, we can kind of get it whenever we want. So getting it actually at the very end of the game is not remotely expensive in terms of time. Bruh Inc. meanwhile is on the cusp of getting this Ice Beam out of Vault. We've completed the puzzle, if you can call it that, and the Ice Beam is ours. Bruh Inc. has taken, I think, a pretty clear lead early into this race. We're 3 majors ahead. All of those majors being items that we need to complete the seed. Going to head into Magmore now. I'm curious to see if we push forward and search for that Plasma Beam, or if we just grab Lava Lake and dip back into Chozo. I believe I also mentioned that we need the Phazon suit. That's one of the items that we need to complete the final boss fight. It has no other purpose in the game except for that. But we cannot defeat, or even damage rather, the final phase of Metroid Prime without the Phazon suit. So that item can essentially turn up anywhere because it's not really required for anything else. The only item that is logically locked by the Phazon suit is in the Phazon Mining Tunnel, which is so late into the game that it's not even really worth mentioning. But any other location in the game can hold the Phazon suit. Torvisbog acquires the Wave Beam from Ruined Shrine. Did Bruh Inc. grab the artifact or not? I'm not sure. It's possible that they skipped it because they don't have space jump, but that seems a bit odd. That's a visor, I believe. That looks a bit like an X-ray visor in Triclops Pit. Oh, there was a missile in Lava Lake, it would appear. It would appear that our chatter did not read the artifact hints 100% correctly. I still will thank you, Delta Toast, for relaying those hints. You got them mostly correct, it would appear. Perhaps we were thinking of Magma Pool instead of Lava Lake, since they're essentially synonyms. That would be my guess. Torvisbog acquires their very suit now as well. Is apparently mostly following the same path as Bruh, which is going to net them the important items that we need to complete this seed. Bruh Inc. doing a scan dash to save some time on the monitor station climb. Gets an energy tank and a TTA. We're not heading to Fen just yet, though. Bruh Inc. is going to be doing here or attempting rather, a skip with the Morphball bombs. This isn't really so much a skip as it is a workaround, where you use a triple bomb jump to replace the space jump boots in getting up to that higher part of Monitor Station and heading into Warrior Shrine. But fails that and decides not to attempt a second go, which is definitely an understandable decision. That is going to mean we're not getting Warrior Shrine or the Upper Fire Shore item just yet. Lower Fire Shore item is just a missile expansion, so we can safely skip that. Torvisbog acquires their Ice Beam now. Bruh Inc. Doing a little thinking. Maybe thinking of turning back around and heading to Chozo. I don't know that I would advise that. Our starting location isn't Chozo, so we can head back there with a save orb whenever we feel like it. Turning back around, going the long way, I don't know if I agree with this decision. It's also possible Bruh Inc. is deciding to head for Phendrana, which I would agree with a lot more. Yeah, it appears that they're heading for Phendrana. Or possibly to Upper Monitor Station again. They might be reattempting that trick. Getting this combat dash off of the puffers again. And that's our logical missiles in Magma Pool. I think that's definitely notable. So that wasn't an artifact in Magma Pool then, it wasn't a cognate problem. Thermal Visor and TCA, very interesting. Which means that our Triclops Pit item was indeed the X-Ray Visor. And a Power Bomb expansion in Training Chamber, we can safely ignore that. Training Chamber is one of the rooms in the game that we just really don't like doing. It's in Chozo rooms for a start, so it's surrounded by items that we get very early into the game, but it has a lot more item requirements than everything around it. So it tends to have a habit of getting isolated. In addition to that, it's a very long check to get. We have to first do the fight with the ghosts, then we need to use the boost ball to hit the 2 bomb slots, and then we need to go actually use the spider track to get the item, which just takes a very long time, and requires either a lot of items or some pretty annoying tricks to circumvent it. You'll occasionally see runners actually do an entire wall crawl just to skip actually doing Training Chamber. Even if they have the items, they will do the wall crawl. There's just a lot of runners who will actually be able to do that much faster that way, despite the difficulty of doing wall crawls at all in Prime. In Echoes, you'll see people be a bit more freewheeling with that, just doing wall crawls whenever they feel like it. Prime is not that kind of game. You have such limited control in Out of Bounds compared to Echoes that it's just hardly ever worth it to go out of bounds. You don't see nearly as many of these avant-garde out of bounds tricks, which is why Exo Skip is such a significant trick in Prime when we do so much out of bounding in just Echoes like it's nothing. And the artifact is on upper Watery Hall rather than lower. Brighton, meanwhile, has opted for a warp to start and is going to be fighting ghosts. That is a nice thing about our starting location, is that we don't actually need the supers and power bombs, or rather just the supers and spider ball, I meant to say, to get up from Sun Tower North. We actually can just warp to start directly and skip all of that. And it appears we have a second to nothing on ghosts. Sun Chamber was completely and utterly dead. And if Torvisbog ever wants to warp to start, we're going to be doing that fight. Fiery Shores. Life Grove Tunnel. Life Grove. So it appears you got Fiery Shores mixed up with Lava Lake. So that's going to be... we have to go up to the top of the monitor station and do Warrior Shrine, and then use the Power Bomb covered Morph Ball slot to drop down into Upper Fiery Shore. The Lower Fiery Shore item, as we saw earlier, was a missile. Inc. going to be using Infinite Boost, which isn't the same thing as Infinite Speed. It's completely tournament legal strategy to pick up enough speed to clip through that scan gate there. It's much faster than scanning the 4 symbols on the way in, and the only real way to go on the way out. Oh wait, you can't. I don't know why I said it that way, but you can skip the gate on the way in, but that's specifically using Morph Ball bombs. The symbols can be scanned in either direction, is what I was trying to communicate. Inc. finding out how terrible our vanilla missile launcher is. And also picking up the thermal visor. Also, I think that Bra had like 2 artifacts in the pause screen. I'm not sure if anybody in chat saw that. I'm not sure which ones. I've been watching them pretty closely. Maybe I'm just, maybe I missaw that. Torvisbog opting to fight Zoid. Oh, Torvis had to. I thought we were seeing Inc. check-ins. My bad. I got a bit mixed up there. You'll have to forgive me, I am a little tired, and solo comming, your eyes switch back and forth between the 2 races, so it's kind of hard to keep track of who does what precisely. Inc. going to be picking up their first artifact in Watery Hall after this quick detour to Dynamo. We don't have Spider Ball, so both of our runners are going to be isolating that upper Dynamo check. An energy tank was waiting for us on Zoid. Inc. meanwhile picks up that artifact that we mentioned earlier. It is worth noting that since both players fought Flagra, the water in Watery Hall is now completely clear and harmless, as opposed to the poisoned water that you would normally be seeing here. This is just kind of something we were forced to do because we had to fight Flagra, so we may as well be reaping the benefits of that horrible, horrible start. Torvisbog having trouble getting the bomb jump into this morph slot. Or morph tunnel, rather. That's definitely understandable. While the little bits of the tunnel jutting out don't interrupt your bomb jump, the floor there is uneven, so it's definitely reasonable to have difficulty there. Interesting to know that Bra Inc. is actually just doing the vanilla strategy for climbing this room. There's some standable terrain that you can use to save time. Bra Inc. opts to just do it the normal way. We have the boost ball anyway, so it's not that much slower. At this point, the race is almost completely up in the air. It pretty much entirely depends on what directions our runners go. Torvisbog is ahead in items right now, but Bra Inc. has checked more locations by going to Magmore. So there's definitely a lot of directions this can go. Brian struggling a little bit with the energy core puzzle, getting knocked off by the Shriek Baz, but we shouldn't have too much more trouble. This is going to be the last bomb slot, and puzzle is complete. We are going to be able to move on to Furnace, like Torvisbog did a minute ago. Torvisbog heading through Transport Access North to quickly get to the elevator. Slips off the piston. Brian looking at the map, trying to get a feel for where they have and have not been. Is this a reset? It is. Brian chooses to reset their game. When did they take a save in Vendrana? I didn't realize they had been. This is... Oh, this must have been a 200 IQ move that I completely missed. They must have dipped into Vendrana, saved at Shorelines, and then left. That was a genius move, frankly, and that's going to put them right ahead of Torvis. That's genius. An Ice Spreader in And the lighthouse. I get the feeling we're probably not going to be grabbing that. Something indicates that to me. I couldn't tell you what. This is honestly such a 500 IQ move. We still have all of our major items. It's worth noting. We have not lost any of them. We only lost that thermal visor and the artifacts. Everything else, all of the things we need to actually do stuff, still in our inventory. Torvisbog finds the X-ray now. Hopefully we don't need that. For those unaware, the two visors in the game don't actually do anything that you can't do just in the combat visor, except for one instance where the X-ray is hard required. To damage Omega Pirate, you need the X-ray visor, and that is necessary in the vanilla game to get the phase-on suit and complete the game. So X-ray is hard required for that one thing to do an any % run of Prime. Thankfully, most runs of Randomizer don't require Omega Pirates, so both visors can usually be skipped. You do, however, have a lot of instances where heading to Elite Quarters is non-negotiable, so it's definitely not uncommon to have a required X-ray visor. In addition, visorless Essence is definitely not fun, so picking up the visors to make the final fight against Metroid Prime Essence is definitely something that our runners are going to strongly consider doing, if at all possible. Thankfully, escaping from Dronic Canyon is completely possible as long as you don't blow up those crates that Ink just jumped off of. You can sort of screw yourself by blowing those up, but we don't have to worry about that today. I know I mentioned earlier the possibility of Frigate, but seeing that thermal visor in Logic definitely brings that a little bit closer to the fore. At this point, the only thing that we're really looking out for is potentially a gravity suit. Yes, thermal visor also puts workstation into Logic. Quarantine monitor would be in Logic from the back with our current items as well. Now, Qmon just needs grapple beam. Because we can go through the workstation elevator, can't we? And from there we can just grapple over to Qmon and then grapple back to the quarantine elevator. Though you would need Spider if you wanted to go to Thardus from the front, logically. To climb that spider track at the side of the room. As well as to, you know, not get stuck in Thardus room. Although you can just grapple up, I believe, from the bottom of Quarantine Cave. We see Ink actually choosing to do the puzzle in this room. I'm not sure if the standable, or you stand on like random bits of the snowy mountain towards the entrance door, is possible in SJ. So this definitely makes sense. I can see why we would do it this way. This is going to allow us to get the item here, which is our space jump. That is a one heck of a place to get space jump. Oh boy. Wow, space jump in ruined courtyard. That is nasty. That is vile. There's a little R jump to get up here, which is very nice. We could not get that X-ray visor earlier, so Research Lab Hydra, we are not going to be able to get it, and it's going to be a mystery what it is. And we do have the main power bombs already, so we can't have that possible revealed to us. Main PBs are one of the largest items in the game, so you can actually see them through the side of that little tank. But not today. Oops, doesn't quite get that observatory dash. This one is a little bit tricky. You'll see a lot of players struggle with this. Completes the pirate fight. That does mean the door back is unlocked now. Not that that's super important. We're gonna go for the observatory dash again. We get our dash off of that scan points anyways, not the enemies, so there being no more pirates left is not really that important. Ink decides not to take a save there. Wants to get this energy tank first. And we're going to be continuing on to Control Tower. That is possible. Torvisbog also hasn't done the fight with the Chosen Ghosts yet. Only Ink has done that so far. So it might be that they don't know about... might not know about Ruined Courtyard. Because I didn't know about that, being NSJ until just now. Because normally you're expected to have a space jump by this point. This could seriously cost Torvis. Nothing's in the control tower. I don't know, I expected something there today. Still on the lookout for that plasma beam and that phase on suit. We have 3 more items before labs are over. We have 2 items in Research Lab Aether and a single item in Research Core. Just going to be breaking the glass Metroid tank to get that over with a little bit sooner. Before this pirate jumps through the window and lets us down. Missile in upper Aether and lower Aether, so there's one item left before we have to leave labs. And we have the Ice Beam, unfortunately, so we're going to be able to just dip out the back into Far Fen. Now that we have the Space Jump, that's a much more tenable possibility. First, though, we will see if Research Corps is anything to get worked up over. It's an E-Tank. We're going to be almost certainly skipping that. And moving on to Far Fen. Yeah, there's a lot of places that you can use Space Jump to save time, with a little bit of clever movement. There are a lot of different tools that mesh with the Space Jump, like the L Jump and R Jump, that just really let you milk a lot from it. Not to mention the incredible power of dashes, like the one we saw there to get across Frost Cave. Bright attempting some standable here in Vendrana's Edge. We can't access both items in this room. One of the items in, I believe it's Security Cave, is going to be inaccessible because it's behind a plasma door, which leaves this item in Storage Cave. I might be getting the two of them mixed up, but it's not too important. There's going to be this one item behind a plasma door that we're leaving behind. Now, obviously, because that's behind a plasma door, it cannot be Plasma Beam, which is one of our two items that we need. But it could theoretically be Phase Onsu, which would be unfortunate. That would not mesh well with this routing. Bra Ink now choosing to head into Gravity Chamber, it would appear. No, never mind. They were actually just leaving into Vendrana's Edge again. I had to look away for a second. My apologies. Torvisbog, meanwhile, taking a complete route divergence, choosing to head into Frigate without a gravity suit. Now, this is entirely possible, and to some degree, it's probably going to be in logic, but it is a bit tricky. Now, ordinarily, you're meant to have the gravity suit to go here, because the grapple beam is actually placed after you get the gravity suit. But because we had the grapple first, we can very easily get to the door to Frigate, and everything inside Frigate is pretty doable without the gravity suit if you're moving forwards. We aren't really going to get stopped by anything until we get to Cargo Freight Lift Gamma, which is going to be our first real ascent. Now that actually is also possible without gravity suit, but it's one of the more complicated things to do, and our runner may not know how to do that, or may just simply not wish to. Conveniently, cargo freight lift to deck Gamma is also right next to a save station, so we can grab the item in that room and then just immediately save warp out if we don't want to press on further. Bra Inc. is going to be fighting Thardus. Pauses a little bit too early. He meant to do essentially a cutscene skip there, but mistimed that initial pause. It lands the power bomb on the ground, which is not where you're supposed to do it. Usually, from what I gather, you're supposed to actually do a bomb jump and lay the power bomb in mid-air if you want to actually do anything to Thardus. At least that's what I tend to see people doing. I might be misunderstanding that. Now, it is worth noting that because of our reset earlier, we lost our thermal visor. So it's entirely possible that this could give Bra Inc. some real trouble. It doesn't seem like he's forgotten which rocks are the ones you damage, though, so that's unfortunate. Torvis is struggling a bit with Gravityless Frigate here. This is Slope Jump giving some trouble. There we go. And we're up. I'm just going to open that door. And it's a missed expansion and a cargo freight lift to deck Gamma, so we're not actually going to be getting anything here in Frigate today. Torvisbog turns around, disappointed and upset, and heads into the save station. And it's going to be a massive setback. Now, Bra is choosing to fight Thardus, so it's possible that both of them get put behind by a pretty significant amount. But Bra Inc. will at least be in a pretty good place to go somewhere else after fighting Thardus. Bra Inc. defeats Thardus at long last. That wasn't the best Thardus fight. We can live without Thermal Visor, but doing it without... ideally, you want to fight Thardus with Plasma. Plasma Beam is the best beam by a wide margin to use against Thardus. We didn't really have that available to us. That is going to net us. Is that a? That looks like a super missile to me. That's a very good return on investment. We could, if we want to, immediately take that into Research Lab Hydra, but that wouldn't actually be that. That wouldn't really be feasible because we don't have the spider ball. And sadly, the grapple point is only next to the quarantine elevator side. That's not going to let us get back into the ruined courtyard. Definitely food for thought, though. Thinking about a save warp. Decides against it. We're at full health, so the save station has no other utility at this point. Workstation has nothing. And unless plasma processing is vanilla, we can't get that either. Ultimately, we do want to save warp. That thermal visor is looking pretty nice, and we have a ton of artifacts to get anyways. We take a save here, so if nothing comes of this, we can just come back. I believe the door's locked for the ghosts fight, so we will have to fight them again. Now that we have supers, though, this is going to be much faster, so blink and you'll miss it. Yes, with the space jump, we can also get X-ray visor and Triclops pit, but that is a little bit more out of the way, so I'm not sure that Bra is going to go for it. There's a pretty good likelihood that we do end up having to go through Magmor again, though, so it's definitely pretty likely. We'd only really be skipping that if we had just an absolute jet seed. Oh, that's true. We have an artifact from Fire Shores. You're right. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, we have a lot to do in shows, so we're going to be busy. The space jump opened up a lot. Torvis, meanwhile, is feeling very confused, not sure where that space jump is. Brian doesn't take too much time to get that boost. You can get him pretty quick if you're good. Heading to the main plaza. Gonna do tree. That's a very good choice. Almost forgot about the tree, which unfortunately doesn't give us anything other than a refund of our 5 missiles. Let's see how confident Bra is with climbing Tower of Light. First dash. Second dash. Spider Ball and Tower of Light. Very good news. Very good news. And Missile and Shower Chamber, but we're not upset after that Spider Ball. Spider Ball does have some consequences for us. Upper Dynamo is now going to be in play, among other things. That's going to also help us a bit in some other spots, like if there's something in Upper Furnace. I don't think either of our runners checked Upper Furnace, but I might be wrong. Ruined Fountain is dead, so it's not going to be helpful for that. It will come in handy if our runners don't know the standable in Hall of the Elders. And of course, it goes without saying, but if things go into mines, Spider Ball is going to be helpful. Brian reconsidering. Oh wait, remembers that. Oh yeah, I need to do the Watery Hall puzzle again. I don't believe I saw them peak Ice Ruins East, but I might just not have been looking. Brian reacquires the first artifact. Plasma Beam Upper Dynamo. Fantastic news. Now we're probably going to see a quick race to get our artifacts, fight Ridley, and then get our Phazon hint. We're going to probably be looking around for some stuff along the way, but just because of how early our artifacts are, there's no reason not to do Phazon hint. Our Phazon suit could be anywhere. It's worth bearing in mind that we have all of the other items in the game, except gravity suits, so Phazon suit, we know at this point, can be just about anywhere. We have access to essentially the whole map. So getting that Phazon hit, paramount. The reset also undid our energy core puzzle status, so we're gonna have to redo the puzzle as well. The starting room in this race was Sun Chamber. Upper Furnace is nothing this race. Super Missile almost bounces, but manages to curve back around. I don't think I've seen it do that very often. Then again, the Super Missile has a much stronger level of homing than the normal missiles do in this game. At least they seem to do so for me. I believe this might be Torvis's first time going to Magmore. No, wait, never mind. I was just a bit confused because I didn't see them get a storage cavern, which they just got now. Never mind, we've been here before. Just apparently left that item there for some reason. I don't understand why. We had all of the items we needed. Inc. chooses to use the bomb slot to get to Reflecting Pool, which is definitely a respectable choice. The bomb jump to skip the wave slot is one of the trickiest in the game out of all the bomb jumps. So it's completely understandable. There's nothing for us in the antechamber. There's our artifact in the Life Grove tunnel. We have another one in the Life Grove itself that we're going to get. And it's the very first item in the room. We have another one that we're just going to go get real quick while we're here. And there's absolutely nothing there. Great True Chamber has nothing. For those unaware, our remaining artifacts are in Root Cave, Fiery Shore, and Transport Tunnel B. Inc. does not struggle at all with the cave climb. We're just going to be checking Arbor Chamber with this plasma beam very quickly. Nothing there. Missile. Now we're going to take the elevator to Magmore. Probably going to grab the artifact of TTB along the way here. Might do it on the way back. No, we're just going to do it now. And our last artifact is in Fire Shore. Now the nice thing is we've already checked so much of the game that the Phazon suit hint, even though it doesn't tell us the exact room it is, will basically tell us what the exact room it is. If it says mines, of course, then it's a toss-up. But if it says Talon, that means frigate. If it says Vendrana, that's Research Lab Hydra, or possibly Ice Ruins East. Actually, wait, it could be Chozo Temple, couldn't it? I don't think we did that. Never mind then. But if it says Chozo, then that would be basically all of the Elders or Crossway. And if it said Magmore, that would mean Plasma Processing. So it's like very, very limited areas that it could be if it's not in mines. Plasma Processing, or it could be Warrior Shrine, which we're about to check. No, Warrior Shrine is just an E-Tank. And that's our last artifact. We've got all 6. Wait. Oh, he didn't pick up watering hole. What are you doing? It was literally right there. You were 2 inches from it. What are you doing? I mean, I guess this means you're gonna get your X-ray. That's kind of a glass half full reading of it, but don't feel sorry for me. Feel sorry for bruh. That is indeed a bruh moment. Like, it was literally 2 inches from you. You could have grabbed it. You were in Dynamo. It was right there. It was right there. Certified bruh moment. Taking a save warp. Not a bad idea. It's a clean boost through the scan gate again. That one was even better than the last time. I just noticed that Torvisbog's timer is frozen. That's unfortunate. Thankfully, they have maintained an unbroken video feed, but you're going to want to get that fixed before next race, bud. You are not going to want to have that. If you lost recording at any point, that could jeopardize things. I suppose it's not the end of the world, but... Brighting, possibly forgetting about Thermal Visor. We just pick up the artifact and leave. I'm going to go ahead and mark on the tracker that they have all 6 artifacts now. I assume that they didn't miss Watery Hall twice. We're not 20 minutes into the seed. We're an hour and 20 minutes into the seed. Good joke, though. Good joke. I appreciate it, Nasu. I suppose it's appropriate enough that Torvisbog has a frozen timer in Ice Ruins. That is the place where your timer would freeze, wouldn't it? Yeah, it should do. And now we go into the Ridley fight. We have all our items, so this is not going to be a challenge. We have the plasma beam, and we have our super missiles and our normal missiles. Most importantly, we have the boost ball. The boost ball is very powerful against Ridley. It allows you to just kind of melt his health bar. Now after this, we get a phazon suit hint. It's going to give us the area of the world that the phazon suit is in. It's not going to tell us the room critically, so it'll tell us the phazon suit is in phazon mines, is one example. The one that we absolutely do not want to see is the phazon suit is in Talon Overworld, because then we have to go to Frigate. And Frigate is not very fun, especially if you don't have a gravity suit. And we do not have the gravity suit. And now we skip most of Ridley straight to the final phase using that boost ball. Yes, I agree, Emerald Pie. Suitless Frigate is pretty difficult, so I don't think either of our runners are going to know it. I could be proven wrong. Inc. struggling to get these freehand shots with the charge beam. These are quite difficult to get. The rest of the game, you're given a very, very accurate auto lock. Besides the cloaked drone fight, you're expected to be able to lock onto basically every enemy in the game instead of actually directly aiming. The game is definitely not designed for that kind of aim and shoot system. So it's pretty impressive that runners managed to land these so consistently. Inc. does have a little more trouble than some of our more talented runners in this race, or some of our more experienced runners, rather. And of course, we get to see the funny cutscene, because you're not expected to come here with various, to say the least. So Samus's model does that. I believe that's what it looks like when a UV coordinate decides to scream. Hint. Phazon mines. That's what it was probably going to be. But, you know. Saves us some time checking anywhere else. Take a save. We're going to take the long way around. Torvisbog at this point still no idea where that space jump is. This race is pretty much lost for them at this point. I don't see a way to come back into this. Short of Inc. Simply DNFing for whatever reason. I don't know, maybe their laundry gets finished. That's pretty much all I can see that would put this into Torvisbog's court. Inc., you have the spider ball. You don't have to do the twin fires dash. And of course we stroll straight past plasma processing because we know it doesn't have anything for us. We even saw the ice spreader already, I believe, so yeah, nothing. Torvisbog struggling a bit with this trick here. I believe you're not meant to hold the L button when you're doing this. I'm not sure exactly. I can't provide the greatest critique. I'm not a super active player. But yeah, this is normally not that difficult to do, so they're struggling quite a bit. That looks like a missile PBC. Oh no, it's an E-tank. Brian's gonna jump down to check PCA very quickly. PCA is also an energy tank, so we can. That's half of the Omega Pirate checks out of our mind. We still have Omega Pirate himself, though. Could have something. Oh. No! No! Oh, no, no, no. Oh, I feel so bad for Torvis. That's so sad. F's in the chat. It would appear it's not in storage depot B. Ah, we truly are unable to access magnetic rail system. Brut Inc. going into elite research backwards now. The nice thing about these walls, we're actually on the wrong side of the wall, much like we were in Arboretum. The enemies can't actually shoot you from that position, but you can shoot them. Well, that's not going to be anything in upper research, but we do have Philip still, who might have our phazon suit. That would be good news. Ah! And a missile on Philip. Brian preemptively lowering the force field in security. Gonna go get SDA in a minute here. Boost ball does not help us there. They're gonna be so disappointed when they finally get this and it's nothing. The space ship is in ruined courtyard. Oh, hi THK. Didn't realize you were here. Struggling to make this slip jump in main core. We're just going to go around. You have everything we need to do this the vanilla way, so a slope jump is not necessary. By the way, did we check the power bomb wall item and security access? Finally make it up. We know, however, the crossway is dead. Ventilation shaft doesn't seem to be our answer either. Passing through Omega Research. Wait, did Bra Inc. forget about ventilation shaft? Did he just not remember that that's an item? It might also just not be Phazon, but I don't know, one of our chatters is apparently convinced that they saw it. Okay, there was nothing. We have a few items left at this point. We have MQA, MQB, Fungal Hall Access, Fungal Hall B, and Omega Pirate. Yeah, the bomb jump you generally do on the very far edge of that standing area. Like, right where it looks like you're about to roll off. If you want to activate the beam slots, you have to do a standable on the little post sticking out of the wall near the bomb slot. And then jump up. Does Torvisbog know of that? Perhaps not. We don't have the spider, so this isn't going to do us any good. Brian goes back to check MQA. Doesn't seem to see anything that he wants. MQA looked a little bit like a missile to me. I didn't get a great look at it though. Another item coming up. E-Tank and Fungal Hall Access. We're going to take it though because we were only at like half health. Energy tanks, conveniently enough, will refill your health to full when you pick them up. You also get a nice ultra energy there. Very friendly of the Hunter Metroids. 3 items left. It's Fungal Hall B, Metroid Quarantine B, and Omega Pirate. Technically, there's also PMT, but it's impossible for that to be Phazon suit. And it is indeed a missile in PMT. I was kind of hoping for a cheeky flamethrower in there, but can't always get what you want. Phazon suit in Fungal Hall B. No Mega Pirate today. That is going to be go mode. Fortunately, there is a save station right here in MQB. All we have to do is cross this room and get to it. And from there, we can take a save warp, climb down from Sub Chamber into Talon, and go to final bosses. Oh, is that a flamethrower? It's flamethrower and MQB. Let's go. Let's go. That's good luck if I've ever seen it. But we're probably going to be taking a ship save anyway, so it doesn't matter that we're out of missiles now. It's a celebration. And at this point, we've already defeated Meta Ridley, and we haven't reset since then, so we're just going to be skipping straight to Metroid Prime, which is very convenient, certainly. It's going to take us a bit to get back to Artifact Temple, but we'll be there soon enough. And that's a ship save. Game has been saved. We're also full on ammo. We only picked up 80 missiles on Brett Inc.'s side. So we're not going to be completely full up going into Exo, but that is going to be plenty to work with for super missiles only. We don't have the ice spreader, so we're only really going to be getting use out of missiles on the power phase, but it's still good to have. Ridley, thankfully, is not going to be eating into that supply because we've, again, already dealt with them. Getting slightly bullied at Impact Crater. I think we have plenty of power bombs to keep them off of us. And now we're up. final bosses begin now. I'm sorry, I know I'm supposed to be commentating on the final boss fight. I just kind of got distracted for a minute by ragtime piano music. We still have most of our missiles left, so those are going to be doing plenty of work for us for the rest of the fight. And we're about a third of the way down the health bar. Wave beam attacks do temporarily disable your visor, but that's not really a big issue. Or your HUD, more accurately. That's another sub-chamber down. Another power phase. Very nice. Does not get either of the shots on neither on the charge nor the turnaround. We do get plasma phase right after, which is good news. However, Exo is being a bit evasive. Seems to miss that shot on the charge as well, but we get the turnaround. And of course, it always comes back to wave. This is going to be leading us into Subchamber 4. This is the last part of the Exo fight, where Metroid Prime Exo gets to do essentially whatever it wants. It can change phases as often as it wants, it can do all sorts of attacks, and it can even increase its animation speed, which can cause some sort of funny things to happen. At this point, the player's fate is entirely in the hands of the RNG. Not that they're in any danger or anything, we still have all of our health. You know, we've only lost 46 points of damage this entire fight, which is very good. It's very rare to see so little damage taken, especially when we don't have all our suits. Well, never mind, that shut me up. We basically just doubled how much damage we took in just a moment ago. You get a nice plasma phase, though. That's what we want to see. We want to see plasma phases. And now that we are in Subchamber 4, Exo can theoretically give us just plasma phase over and over again, which would be nice, but it's asking a bit much. Oh, wave phase, not what we want. But we'll be able to close this out in a moment, nonetheless. We will if exit stands still. And that's the end of the fight. Now we move on to the final phase, Metroid Prime Essence. This is the part that we needed that phase on suit for. We're going into this without a thermal visor, which is going to make things difficult. In case you aren't aware, during certain parts of the fight, Metroid Prime Essence will become invisible outside of a specific visor spectrum. So during this part of the fight, they are visible in all frequencies, but later they will become, like right now, they'll become invisible. During this part of the fight, they will be visible on the X-ray spectrum. Later, they'll only be visible on the infrared spectrum, and thus through the thermal visor, but we don't have the thermal visor, so we will just have to kind of find them through other means. We can see, we can try to trace them based on where their attacks are. That isn't something that's very effective. Essence moves around a lot and is very fast. Another thing we can do is what we see Brut Inc. doing here right now is essentially looking for the scan point that Essence has, which we can see even when they're otherwise invisible. This is kind of just a trick. Now again, Essence is very fast and moves around constantly, so this isn't actually that helpful because you have to switch out of the scan visor to start doing any of these attacks. We did manage to get a lockdown on Essence there. Basically, what you'll see is they kind of go into and out of this attack constantly. This sort of keeps Essence from doing anything. It's a very effective way to sort of burn time while we wait for the next pool of Phazon. And it really does help a lot. Just keeps them locked to one part of the screen. And now you see, before we've actually run out of any of our Phazon, we immediately get more to work with. Which is exactly what you want to see, really. We're, I reckon, one more pool away from a victory here. And there's our final pool. One more power bomb to clear out the fission Metroids, and you just gotta find Essence. And GG. Torvisbog is up to the forfeit. And we will hopefully be joined by them soon. Not seeing them yet. If they don't want to join, that's fine. I'm tired. I'm free to leave at this point. Or I'm sorry, willing to leave rather. I'll stick around just a little bit longer. Ooh, there's Brut Inc. in the setup room. I'm going to be joined in just a moment. Hello, Brut Inc.
Hello. Wow, what a place for Space Jump. I mean, honestly, that's
Ruined
insane.
Courtyard.
That is crazy.
Possible place for that.
Okay, I wanna say something. Today, I had a practice that I did it this morning, where I had to do that NSJ Ice Ruins West. I didn't know that was in logic literally until this morning. So that, we'll put it this way, that seed this morning, it saved my bottom for sure.
Torvisbog is also in the setup room. Will be joining in just a moment. Might need a minute to set up their mic. Any second?
Man, I can't believe that. I did not think that would actually be there. I thought I forgot something for sure. I forgot something for sure when I was going there.
Torvisbog actually never found the space jump. They didn't have it.
Oh no!
At all. They never got to it.
Oh no! Oh, I'm so sorry, dude.
This is not a good scene. Space jump, ruined courtyard. It was bad. It was nasty.
Yes, Space Jump was in Ruined Courtyard. With missiles, you can do an NSJ climb of Ice Ruins West to get into Ruined Courtyard, and then with Boost, you can get to the item NSJ.
Also, I don't know if you're trying to say anything, but I can't hear anything from you, Torvisbog.
I haven't said anything yet.
Alright.
Oh, Thermal was in Training Chamber Access, okay.
Yeah, you actually got it, you know. You had
it. I thought I got it. That's why I did Thardus, and then I saw Supers, and I thought it was a different seed that I got Thermal in.
No, you just did a reset, so you lost Thermal. Because you were reset to get back into Shorelines quickly.
Yeah, when I was doing that early Magmor play, I really thought that, oh, I'm making such a huge mistake right now. And then I went to Shorelines, and I was thinking, you know, well, we could have it in, because I didn't have launcher at that point, that it could have been in either Canyon or Ice Ruins, or not Ice Ruins West, Courtyard. But I didn't realize that we didn't have launcher, and that locks both of those checks until I was in the elevator. So I just save warped from there, and having the save in Fendron ended up being super key.
Yeah, that ended up being such a big time saver.
And also resetting. Now I know I forgot the Watery Hall artifact, but resetting it the first time actually was crazy good too because of Plasma. Like, I would not have gotten that Plasma if I had already gotten the artifact.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So that reset helped me so much, and I thought I was making a huge mistake. Like, I was.
Didn't you grab the Plasma and then just leave without the artifact?
Yeah, I was like, oh, Joe mode, and then I forgot to pick up the artifact.
That was very sad moment.
Yeah, that was sad.
Any final comments on the seed? I didn't hear very much from you, Torvisbog. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, that's understandable. Basically, everything else in that seed was locked behind the space jump.
Where was Space Jump?
Ruined Courtyard. You can get there, NSJ. You're expected to do that. You weren't missing any items. You are actually just expected to do that with what you have.
Okay.
Yeah, it was some crazy logic there. And you know what? With that, I realized that if you had Spider Ball and Super Missiles, and also Thermal, you could potentially have Space Jump on Thardus.
Oh my goodness!
In an odd weekly seed, you could have Space Jump on Thardus.
Don't even make me think about that. Don't even think about it.
I mean, that would be crazy. Arrow kept saying in the race time room that he wants bombs on Thardus, but we all know that only TGC would be capable of genning that.
I mean, this is the preset for that. This is the preset where we would have it.
Yeah, and we could have that in odd weekly too. I think. Yeah, we can have that in odd weekly. I mean, if we ever had Space Jump on Thardus in Odd Weekly, that would be... I wonder if that's happened before. I mean, that's just crazy.
Any last remarks?
I don't have anything else to say.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here. I will see you all for the next race.